Alright everyone, welcome back. In the previous tutorial, we learned how to create a PowerShell script that allows us to create files with random extensions and store that in a specified directory. So now let's create a PowerShell script that will organize these files and store them in a directory with based on its extension. So let's say we have txt files, so that will be stored in a txt directory. We will specify the name, and the same for others, like the css will be stored in the css directory, and so on and so forth. They will be actually moved to that directory. So let's just jump in. I will create another file, let's say organize.ps1, and now the first thing we need to do is to set the target directory path. So let's say folder underscore path and set that equal to that is currently in the temp underscore files. So I will set this. Now the next thing we need to do is to set the target directories that will be created based on its extensions. So what I'm going to do is to create an array, and let's say extensions, and inside we will have sub arrays, so the extension and then the folder name. So let's say extension and set that equal to, let's say these will be the extensions that we have right here. So let's copy this and comment, add that as a comment here. So let's say for the .png files, I want to create a, let's say, subfolder, and that will be, let's say, images. As you can see, now we have the images only with the png, so we can say like png dash images. Now we will do the same for the others. So for the txt files, we will have folder name txt files, and for the html files, we will have capital html. Let's add the dash files as a to see this is a directory. And for .js files, we will have a directory named js files. There is some error, so yeah, this is the semicolon. The same for the others. So now we will do the same for others. So, and I have to add the comma here. These are the items, these are the sub arrays, and this is the main array, and these are the elements. So now for the css, and let's do that quickly. So .php and .py .docx and ppt, as well as xls. And now here we will do the same. So let's say, let's just call it xls or excel, and then ppt or slides, and then we have docs or doc, whatever. So now we have 5, let's say, name it this way, and then we have the php, then we have the css, then js. Let's remove the dash files. We can name it anything we want. So but let's say I want it this way, and this is png. So now we have the array of files that we want to create. There is some error here. This is the array of objects. Now the error is gone. So now I will remove this, and let's add comments to this. I don't have much interest in adding comments that doesn't make sense. Mostly I add comments to the things like that are more complex. So but now let's say this is the target dir that will be organized, and this is the available files extensions that will be organized. Now what we need to do is we need to loop through anything or any file of this directory. and organize them based on its extension and move that to its specific file. So the way we will do that is we will use the GCI, so or get child items, and then we will pass the directory, so that is the folder path, and then we will pipe that to for each object loop. Here we have it. Now here we have the $_ variable, which will be pointing to every file of this folder that we have right here. Or we can add conditions as well, like if the current item from which we are iterating to is a file, organize that. So if, and then the way we will do that, we will use the PSIS container as the PS as a container. This will be set to true if this is a directory, and it will be set to true if the current item is a file. So now if this is false, which means this is the file, and we can try that in the terminal as well. So I will come here. Here we have the temp files. What I will do is, let's say GCI, and do the same. It will and then use for each dash object, and then here what we'll do is $_.ps is container, and close this. As you can see, all of them are files, and if I add a directory, let's say test, I created test directory, and now if I do the same, and I will see that the first one is true because this is the directory that we created. So I will remove that directory, or we can leave it, but for now let's remove that. Here are the files. I will go back to the directory there where we have the organize.ps1 file or script. So now if this is a file, then we have to get its extension. So let's say ext is equal to $_ dot we have the properties, so dot extension. We can try these right here just like we did before. So everything, these are the properties of the files or the GSI items. So cd to temp files and use the previous thing or command, and now here I can type extensions, and as you can see, here are the extensions of each of that file. That is what we are going to be using here. So we have the extension. So what we need to do is we need to check if this extension is available in the extensions array that we have created here. So the way we do that is, let's say match, and that is equal to $extensions array, and then pipe that to the where object command. And what we want to do is we want to check if the $_ extension, that is extension, this comes from this extension. Like for each of this item we are getting the extension. So for each of that extension, if that is equal to the ext variable $ext that we created here. So now whenever there is any extension matching, then we will have that in this variable, that object. These are the objects, and the extensions as the array of objects. So if there is a match, this is the variable, and what we need to is we need to grab the complete path and move that to that specific path. So let's say sub_ folder path, or let's say subfolder is equal to join path, and join the folder path, and then the path that we have set right here, the folder. So I will pass the folder path. This is the main folder path, and then this path, the one that is matching here. So that is inside match dot subfolder. So now once you join that path, you have to check if this directory exists. So this is actually the path of the directory, right? So we are joining the outer directory that we defined here, as well as the directory uh, of the extension that is currently we are looping through. So I will do is, if we will use the test path if the path exists, then we do not have to create that directory. If it doesn't exist, then we have to create it. So dollar sub folder, and if this is not the case, then go ahead and create that. So we will add like a not condition here. So if this is not the case, then come here in new item and dash type, item type is the directory, and then the path is subfolder. So now what we can do is, if I try this, like if I come here to the terminal and I have these three directories, and what I can do is, what I want to do is I don't want to display the success message. So let's say I am creating a test directory. As you can see, it displays the result, but let's say I do not want to display the result. So what I can do is out null this and out null. It already exists, so let's remove that. And now if I set that as out null, it's not going to display the result. So that is what we want. So I will add the out null here, out null, so to not display the result, and then move the actual item. So move item, and the path is dollar underscore. We are looping through this items, right, that are in this folder. So dollar underscore full name, and move that to dollar subfolder. So if I save this, let's try that out. So the script is organize dot organize organize.ps1, and now it's execute. So let's check the temp files. It still has those directories. Seems like there's something wrong with this folder path. Don't see anything wrong with this. So the temp file, and for each of the file in the temp directory, if it is a file, then set the extensions. Let's remove this, grab the extensions from the array, and if it is found, then go ahead and move that to the folder, and if the folder doesn't exist, then create that folder. Let's try that again. So as you can see, I will execute the script.ps1 to create the files again. Now we have the file in the temp directory, and we have specified that in the script. So if I try again executing the organize.sh, hopefully, if I ls the temp directory, as you can see, now we got what we were looking for. So if I open that in the Explorer, let's see, as you can see, now we have the separate directories for css, docs, and all the files with the extensions that we were given. So this has all files with the extension .png, this has all the extension with files with the extension js, this with html, css, and txt, and something like that. Somehow the file were not stored correctly, so now it's working fine, so that's great.